Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. I do hope you're well. We are back in Misty Marsh once more, and we've got a lot to get on with in this zoo at the moment. So thanks for all your feedback so far, by the way. So I'm recording these quite way in advance from where you guys are watching. But so far, the last couple of episodes that have gone out, your feedback has been very positive, so thank you very much for that. Last episode we built the makings of a cafe area here. We did a whole load of pathways, and where does that one go? That one doesn't go anywhere yet. Okay, and we also put in down here somewhere what will become a bat habitat, a bat cave is the idea down here. What I need to do first is get some bats in, because otherwise I can't really landscape around it. So let's have a look. What have we got? The common wombat. Okay. No. Hang on. Are there bats? How do you do this? Hang on. Let's just click on this. Request an animal. An exhibit. Oh, it's an exhibit animal. Of course it is. That's why I was in the wrong thing. Right. Let's try that again. Bat. Here we go. Egyptian fruit bat. Whoops. I'm in the wrong thing again. Wow. This isn't a good start, is it? Here we go. Right. Let's get some bats in. I'll get 8 for now. I think once the bats are in, that's when you can then put all the extra pieces in. There we go, beautiful. Right, so how can this then work? Yeah, so you've got some pieces in here now. Right, so you've got animals, you've got layout. Yeah, so look, you can add on all these extra pieces. You can do the climate. Just bring that down a bit so they're happy. You can customize the walls. Yeah, so I think I want them all to be empty, I would say. And then I like the doors. I think it makes sense to have the doors. Well, let's just call that bats. Right, so you've got all these lovely bits and pieces in here now. As you can see, all the bats are hanging on the walls, which is cool. But we've got some bits that are kind of hidden. So I need to make sure stuff like that is kind of accessible and looking good. I want this roof to look really cool. Oh, look at that, there's even more. This thing just keeps on going. Right, and then we've got this that hangs down like that, and it comes over here. So let's just make sure all this stuff is not buried in the walls. Right, have we got another thing here? Yeah, there's something just in this corner here as well, isn't there? Let's bring that up. What have we got at the back here? Is that just a roof piece? Yeah, excellent. Okay, let's get that up. Oh, look, it's like a full-on cage up there. That's pretty cool. So let's make sure that's kind of accessible. I quite like that it all moves around the ceiling, you know. I don't want the ceiling to be too low, but I do want it to feel like a natural shaped cave. Okay, that bit looks fine. Obviously that's not. There we go. See, so this looks quite nice. It comes right down to the roof there. And there. Okay, so that is all looking pretty good now, I think. Bit of work to do on the floor, so let's just let's just get the floor painted. Good, people are starting to come down. Right, so we need to build a new floor. Actually, I will just get rid of this, I think. I'm just wondering whether this will pull down or not to actually meet does, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks quite nice. And then I can just do a gentle push just to make sure that isn't hiding. I quite like the idea of this being quite solid around here. If I can just pull this all in like this as much as I can. Obviously that back wall is fine. Yeah, so let's build a new floor in here. I don't know if I'm going to spend the whole episode in here. There's a lot to do everywhere at the moment, so it's quite hard to know exactly where I want to go. Let's just get rid of that for a second. What sort of flooring do we want in here? I'm thinking a nice stone floor, something like this I think will look good. And I'll get that so that it's just hiding this pathway. Great, and then I need to make sure that comes back far enough that it's kind of covering that but not quite out there. Okay, let's give this a go. Let's go out to there. There we go. I think that looks good. Actually, I tell you what, I might just bring that right out here, like that. How does it look at this end? That's fine. Yeah, I can work with that end. Tell you what, I think we just got a little bit showing there. Let me just raise it up a tiny bit more. I know that means people's feet disappear, but I can live with that. Let's just get rid of that. And let's just get rid of any long grass that's come through. Yeah, so people's feet have disappeared, unfortunately, but there we go. Oh, actually, I haven't finished that yet because I haven't gone all the way along here. Excellent, there we go. So there we go, that's our basic bat cave. And then I need to, ooh, I quite like that you can kind of see down here. Hopefully people are going to start going down there to the bat cave. Yeah, look, some people are going down. Eventually there'll be more exhibits this way that people can see. So either exhibits or actual enclosures is the plan. This bit here is a little bit trickier because I want this to be covered in, obviously. So let's go. Oops, helps if I can spell. I think this is probably the best kind of rock to use. Obviously, I don't want to block this. Let's have a look. Actually, no, that will look. I think that will be fine if that's a little bit buried. I kind of need to create this nice edge here. Something like this. And let's just try and fill that in like that. It's very tricky with this sort of thing to make it look particularly realistic. I don't mind a little bit of this at the bottom here. It's this outside bit that's tricky to try and fill this in without it blocking pathways or anything. I wonder, no, see all of these, they're all massive rocks. That's quite a decent sort of shape, isn't it? Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Don't really want any of this post showing through here. Just wonder if I might need a nice flat one like this somewhere here. Kind of cover this hole, which is really hard to do. Actually, if I go up in the hole, that might be a bit better. I think. Let's have a look. How does that look from out here? Hang on, where are we? It's not great, but I can manipulate it a bit because we really only need the hole blocked. Something like that. And then I guess the rest of this I can paint. So I'm assuming this is, yeah, they're still using that bit. I assume they can go up there. It certainly looks like they can. So let's go with it. Cool. Right, now let's do something similar on this side. No, hang on. I don't want to add to a group. Let's just bring it in and let's build this little tower block here. Okay, and then let's get a little bit next door, like so. Get all that looking nice and blocked off. Lovely, so there's your little entrance. So I'm hoping what I can do with the rest of this, yeah, you see you can paint everything to make it look rocky, and then obviously I can do other stuff. I can actually put some more rocks on here as well, but for now let's just do a little bit of paint work. Try and just focus on one bit at a time. So yeah, I quite like this gap. So as you walk down here, you actually get to look down through here and see what's down below. That looks kind of cool. So I'll tell you what I might do here actually, because I want people to walk down here and see through that, which is quite hard to do if it's not got a barrier of some sort. So I think I'll do a barrier. I'm not sure about this little bit here. Let's just get terrain on here. Just try and maybe just thicken this up a bit here. Not like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So I'll definitely need some more rock work doing. But I do like the idea of that. But yeah, I'm just thinking on this pathway here, let's get the railings on here, I think. Just because it's a slope. Slopes are always hard to customize. So I think if you just do it down to there, so you've got the slope covered, and then you can leave it quite open, and I can just do a whole load of rocks or something. Actually, I could do another stream down the side of this. That could look pretty cool, couldn't it? Get some water gushing down here maybe. So you can see that it's going to be very complex, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. It's all going to be pretty over the top, to be honest, certainly in places, but that's kind of fun. So yeah, I could do something here. Make it look like the water's coming from kind of underneath. I think that looks kind of cool. I might just let's just get that like that. Yeah, no, let's just tuck it in enough like that, down a little bit. There we go, beautiful. I'm giving myself a lot of work to do, but you know, want it to all look really nice, really interesting, you know. I want it to look like this water's really going from underneath here. I don't know where it's going to go, mind you. But from up here, I just want it to look like you've got water kind of just flowing down here. And then if it gets to here, I can do rocks to cover that bit. It doesn't really need to go anywhere. I mean, I could try and... Actually, I could just make it look like it then just disappears, maybe. Or do I want to bring it down like this? Make it look like it kind of goes away and underneath. Like it flows like that, so it just looks like it flows back away down underground somewhere. Let's go with that, and then let's come back in here and just very gently. Actually, no, I probably want to pull this, if anything, really, don't I? And try and hide this edge. No, it's not going to let me. Okay, that's fine. I'll use a little bit of rock work on that. So we've got, luckily, this sort of fairly thin piece that I could use here. Just making sure it looks good from this sort of angle as well. Go, something like that. So it just looks like the water just flows and then just drops away and disappears underground like a big underground river. I think that's kind of cool. Might just get another one of these in here. Something like that. Try and just keep this bit looking interesting. Get some nice rock work kind of around here. Break up the edge a bit. Need something a bit solid looking there, so it looks like the water's really bouncing off of a rock. If I can find an appropriate one, probably something like that will have to do. It's very tricky working in this sort of very enclosed environment. There we go. That looks good. That looks cool. I'm not really too fussed about this side because you don't see it. Again, just try and break up the wall a little bit over here, make it look interesting. There's going to have to be a whole load of rock work around here, so I'll do that later on. For now, I just wanted to kind of, yeah, just do that basic shape there, and I'll come back and work on that later on. But yeah, let's get this looking good. Quite like that it kind of comes down here and would splash over the side and fall eventually down below. Looks good from down here. Now I'm going to have to do a bit of work under here actually, because you do see it from down here, but that looks kind of nice. I really wish you could add water into places like this. So like you could put water here and have it around the pond, around the pathway, sorry. Oh, that's interesting. I can have a whole load of water down under there. Do you know what? That might not be the worst thing in the world. To actually have that looking like a big old underground bit of water. That's cool actually, because then, in fact, what I can do, if I put this on like this, do it to there, and then come this way and do the same. It's cool. That really makes it feel like a damp underground area. Well, hopefully it does anyway. Let's have a look. That fencing goes right up there. do I want to do the same on this side? Yeah, let's do the same on that side. So that's fine. I've got the flooring. The flooring just extends. That's not a problem. And then I can do like a bit of rock work just to end the flooring. Like that. And then maybe some small rocks here, just try and make this look a little bit more finished. Cool. So yeah, we've got a little bit to do here, I think. Feels like we need to kind of cover some of this up a bit. And then the water goes flowing away through that little gap there. I think that works for me. Yeah, there you go. See the water just flowing away there. That looks fine. So at some point I need to make it look like the water comes into here. I might be able to do that here. Let's have a look if I can just do a little bit of pushing. Then I may be able to get, let's just go with a small one. Something like that. So it looks like it's just coming down. Right, let's see, how high can I lift that? Yeah, if I can lift that right up like that. Not quite there, but if I could, yeah, take it in a bit. Because I want the splash at the bottom there, you see. So if I can just move that as far as I can without it hitting the pathway. Actually, if I see if I can just swing it a bit like that. There we go, that's good. I can work with that. So that it kind of links up, makes it look like it's coming down there underneath the pathway and then back out again here. I'm just wondering if I can just maneuver this one just to show, yeah, a little bit more of the water there. So like I said, there's going to be a lot of this sort of thing where I don't necessarily get a huge amount done in an episode, but it's detailed. It's, you know, it's slow paced, but that's how I like to play the game. I don't want to rush. If you're new to my channel, then you know I don't like speed builds. I don't do those videos. I don't think they're productive. I think the fun of the game, certainly for playing the game anyway, is doing it like this. But then, hopefully, the joy of watching is that you get to kind of see the process that I go through. That's the idea. I don't mind a little bit of rock showing through there. I can live with that. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys approve of my style of video. If you don't, then you probably just wouldn't come back. So I'm going to assume you do. Excellent, there you go. So you've got a nice bit of water coming back down underground there and down into this pool of water, which is completely underneath all of this. So there's water under all of this. I could do some more further up along as well. Right, and then let's just see if I can fill in this space under here a bit. Again, doesn't need to be completely filled in, but just so it looks like the steps here are kind of on a nice bedrock. This kind of thing. Lovely stuff. Good. Okay, that's looking nice. I probably need something on here. Actually, I could have like the I could do a little one of these. I don't know if these work for exhibits though. Let's find out if I can get one kind of there. Let's see if it does. No, you can't do it for them. That's really annoying. So what have we got? We've got some education stuff, so I don't mind having a bit of that back here. So let's get a couple of these in. I want to just make it look like this space here is kind of there for a reason, you know. Oh, that's interesting. My my escape button on my keyboard has just suddenly stopped working, which is really annoying. It does that sometimes. Oh, there we go. It's back again. Right, let's go with an amphibian thing. Have we got anything in here to do with insects? Probably not. No, that's fine. No, that doesn't look right. Let's go traditional medicine. No. No. Hang on. I just want one that looks sort of... No. You know, relevant, a bit invasive species. Yeah, sure, let's go with that one. You know, just so it's vaguely relevant to what's down here. There we go. So we've got a bit of education stuff going on back there. So that's nice. I like that. Let's just come up here, see what it looks like from here as you come down. That's cool. Yeah, you can see people down the bottom there. Come down here. Oh, good. People are using both the pathways. That's fine. How congested are we over here still? Yeah, it's quite busy, isn't it? But that's fine. People will spread out soon. Wow, look at this. This is coming together nicely, actually. Still a lot to do. I want to do a whole load of stalactite stuff along here, I think. Let's have a look. The habitat itself, this looks good, doesn't it, with all the cave. I've got to block this end, but let's just see. This end looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, I like this. This is all coming together really well. Let's crack on with some of this over here then. Again, let's just build up these sort of pillars on each side. Get the door frame looking covered. Here we go. Good stuff. And then the same on this side. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have got thoughts on what you'd want my next actual habitat to be, but if you have, please let me know in the comments. We're coming to the end of this episode already. Can you believe it? Doesn't feel like we've done anything, does it? Really? But there we go. Some episodes are like that. Sometimes you just, you know, you spend ages doing small details and then you end up not really feeling like you've achieved much. But we've done loads. Let's get that top bit blocked there. Let's just check inside. That looks nice. That goes right up to there. Excellent. That looks good. This side looking fine as well. Let's just get a little... actually, let's get a big one up here. Kind of up in this top area like that. Not sure if I need anything around the base of this really. What's that going to look like? Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think I do really. I don't know what's it going to look like if you get the odd big bit of rock, kind of like poking through like this. Actually, I think that looks good. I think it kind of makes the whole thing just look a bit more rocky, doesn't it? So yes, actually, I think this is good. I think I will do this. Just a little bit. I don't want too much, but just bits like that. And then again over here, kind of lift it up, get bits poking through. It's really hard to do this. There we go. Right, there's a bit. phone telling me that it's our half hour is up. Let's just get a little bit more of this in. That is very tricky manoeuvring, getting this in the right place. There you go. There we go, a little bit up in the top there. So you're just adding in a bit of rock detail there, make it look a bit more cave-like. That's really nice. It's a really simple habitat, this one. I don't really need to do much more inside there. It's all the work is going to be out here, really. So I'll do some sculpting here. I think one of the things I might try and use is this roughen tool. Does that actually work? Yeah, it kind of just makes it a little bit more natural. Oh, excuse me, a bit more natural looking, I think. And obviously it needs painting because it's not all rocky at the moment. So yeah, but again, it doesn't need a lot out here really. Just some stalactites and stalagmites, some rocks here and there, and that'll be it. And then this area is basically done. I'll get a couple of benches, maybe a couple of vending machines or something down here. And probably some, I don't know if it needs any lighting really, but I might have a look at some lighting just to see what effect it has. I think some nice lights down in the bottom here, sort of glowing outwards, might look really nice. But really it's just a cave, so you don't need to do much more. I'll probably do a couple of waterfalls, like in an alcove there maybe. Maybe I could do something over here. But yeah, that's kind of taking shape nicely now. So there we go. Let's leave that as it is. And the next episode we'll do a bit more. We've got the backstage area to do over here. We've got this cafe, which is going to be a mammoth project. I don't quite know what I'm doing with that yet. I've got a couple of ideas. At some point I need to put a habitat in over here just to encourage more people to come over in this direction. So I'll think about that. I may do something here, like a path that comes down here and links with this dead end path that we've got coming off here, and get a habitat kind of in the middle here. And it may be something, I might do something like that before I come in and detail all of this stuff. I think that would work quite nicely. I've got to remember this mist effect will work really nicely, I think, down in the cave as well. Excellent, there we go. So I'm going to leave it like that. So thank you very much for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know anything you want to say down in the comments, and I will hopefully see you again next time. Until then, do take care of yourselves. I will see you soon. Bye for now.